Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, a heavy police presence at a Durham townhome complex. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker is there on scene as investigators start piecing together what happened. A lasting tribute. 2 years after a deadly campus shooting, UNC Chapel Hill is dedicating a memorial site to one of its own. We'll show you how the campus is remembering Professor Tzu Yin.
And it's another nice, cool start. Temperatures are mostly in the 50s as you're stepping out the door this morning. We'll take a look at how many more days are nice and cool and when we get back to a chance of rain.
Welcome to your Thursday, everyone. It is 4:30 and it truly is a fall lover's dream out there. Let's get back to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with how our Thursday is shaping up.
Taking a live look at Fenton this morning. We're seeing mostly clear to partly cloudy skies across our area, and it just feels great right now. 60 degrees. That dew point still down at 55. So we've had our dew point in the 50s for the last several days. That continues today and into tomorrow. But we are going to see a change in our weather pattern as we get into the weekend. We're going to watch a low pressure system getting closer to us and giving us a chance of rain, at least in parts of our viewing area. We're going to talk more about that coming up so you can plan for your holiday weekend. But this morning, maybe plan to grab a jacket. 57 in Southern Pines, 56 Rocky Mount and South Hill, 54 in Roxborough, and low to mid 60s from the Triangle area down south toward the Sandhills. Back to school planner, cool and crisp this morning. Lunchtime feeling glorious at 78, and we do get back into the 80s this afternoon with a high of 82.
Elizabeth, thank you. Breaking news in Durham. Police are actively investigating a scene at the Creekside Townhomes on TW Alexander Drive. Forensics arrived just moments after our crew did. Ali Kadlubar is there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker with what we're learning from investigators.
Yes, police have been out here since 9:30 last night. We see multiple police cars lining this street right here, TW Alexander Drive. Behind that is the scene. This is Creekside Townhomes. There's a line of police tape. We also saw police surrounding a car, and there's multiple evidence markers on the ground. Durham police got here around 9:30 last night investigating a shooting. We have reached out to Durham Police Department. We're working to find out if any arrests have been made, if anybody got hurt, and what led up to this shooting. We are going to keep you updated. Reporting in Durham, Ali Kadlubar, WRAL News.
We're following more breaking news. A person is in the hospital after a crash in Durham. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was on Cecil Street as officers were jumping out of vehicles to search for the driver. We've reached out to police to confirm more information, including whether that person is facing charges. 2 people are seriously hurt after a high-speed chase ended in a crash in Cumberland County. State Highway Patrol says the chase started near NC 87 and I-95 just before 11 last night. The car later crashed into a tree about 11 miles away near Clinton and Blue Sand Hill roads. The car's front end was smashed in by the impact from the crash. You can see that in the scene. Troopers say charges are pending. This morning, people in Minneapolis are grieving after yesterday's deadly shooting at a Catholic school. At least 2 children are dead, more than a dozen injured. Thousands gathered for vigils across Minneapolis to remember the victims. Police say the shooting happened just before 8:30 in the morning at Annunciation Catholic School. The school was in the middle of a morning worship service, marking the first week of school. A shooter opened fire, killing 2 children, 8 and 10 years old. 17 other people were injured and rushed to the hospital. The Minneapolis police chief called the shooting a morning of horror.
This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible.
Officers have identified 23-year-old Robin Westman, who died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The FBI says this is now a domestic terrorism investigation. Today, UNC Chapel Hill will honor Professor Tzu Yin. He died 2 years ago in an on-campus shooting, and now a new memorial site is being dedicated in his honor. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Chapel Hill. Kelsey, a lot has changed on campus since that tragic day.
Yes, Renee, it has, and a memorial site will be put here at a Caudell lab in Sajayan's honor. So since his death, UNC updated its emergency plan. It's made Alert Carolina messages more clear, enforced response training for staff, and put together a threat assessment unit. The university launched an emergency preparedness training for staff back in April. Last year, UNC added a new feature to the Carolina Ready Safety app called I'm OK. It lets people quickly notify their contacts about their whereabouts during a campus emergency. The university is hosting that memorial dedication this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News. I'm in Chapel Hill.
We are working to learn what disciplinary action a student who brought a BB gun to Smithfield's Selma High School will face. We first brought you the story as breaking news from the WRAL Live Center yesterday morning. A weapons detection system at the school discovered the BB gun, and it led to a brief lockdown. After that was lifted, the rest of the day went on as usual. Law enforcement took the student into custody. WRAL obtained the school policy. It says bringing a BB gun could lead to a 10-day suspension for the first offense and longer for the second offense. A pickup truck driver is facing charges this morning after a crash that ran a school bus off the road. 4 Union Pines High School students were taken to the hospital after this crash on Vass Carthage Road in Moore County. It happened around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. State Highway Patrol says the pickup truck lost control of his truck and trailer. He crashed into the school bus, which ran off the road. 21 students were on board. The truck and trailer overturned. One lane on Tryon Road in Raleigh will be closed for another week and a half. Emergency repairs on a major sewer line between Avon Ferry Road and Gorman Street began 11 days ago. Wake County Public Schools has had to adjust some bus stops while the work is happening. The city expects the road to fully reopen by September 5th. A local brewing company is up for sale. Norse Brewing Company is selling its business for $8.1 million. It has locations in Wake Forest and Zebulon. The brewery equipment and furniture is included in the purchase. The craft beer business opened its first location in 2019. An animal shelter in eastern North Carolina is closed down because of repeated issues. The SPCA of northeastern North Carolina in Elizabeth City has 30 days to find homes for all of its animals. The state cited the shelter for issues like poor cleaning standards, not giving animals care quickly enough, and not maintaining medical records. The shelter has to pay a $14,000 penalty. It has 2 months to pay up or appeal the ruling. This morning, we're getting a look at new drone video showing first responders rescuing a pilot after he crashed off the coast of North Carolina. We first told you about this crash earlier this month. Mark Finkelstein says his plane engine began to fail. He saw the beach and decided to make an emergency water landing. First responders say they pulled him out feet first, less than 30 seconds after the plane went down.
So I was just reaching around trying to go in there and see if there was anybody in the plane.
Rolled him over, and that's when he opened his eyes and took a breath and was talking to us.
Finkelstein was trapped but still breathing thanks to an air pocket in the back of the cabin. First responders say if he were underwater for 30 more seconds or another minute, he may have sunk along with the plane. He escaped with only a small cut on his leg. Amazing. Tonight, the college football season gets started in the Triangle. NC State will host ECU to open the season at Carter-Finley Stadium. That game kicks off at 7 p.m. The Wolfpack and the Pirates ended last season on an ugly note with a large fight at the end of their matchup in the Military Bowl. 8 players were ejected from the game. 2 Wolfpack players will be suspended for the first half of tonight's game because of their roles in that fight. Duke will also be at home tonight to get the season started. They will host Elon at Wallace Wade Stadium. This is the second season in a row the Blue Devils and the Phoenix have played in the season opener. Last year, Duke won the game 26-3. Tonight's game will kick off at 7:30. Looking ahead to Monday night, the Chapel Bill era will get started when UNC hosts TCU. Kickoff for that game at Kenan Stadium will be at 8 p.m. WRAL will have full team coverage ahead of that Labor Day matchup. Toxic tap water. Dangerous chemicals are showing up in more North Carolina homes. and they don't go away easily. Why the fix isn't simple. Plus, Ford recall alert. A hidden glitch could leave drivers in the dark. Literally, what owners of thousands of pickup trucks need to do now. It's another round of false fall as you look live at Lewisburg from the WRAL Live Cam Network. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tells us how long the crisp and cool air are sticking around.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:43 and temperatures are feeling pleasantly cool again today. 56 in Wilson, and it's nice and quiet. All the whirligigs are still out there this morning, so not even a breeze out there. 60 in Durham and 63 in Fayetteville. So again, feeling nice and comfortable. Our muggy meter is way down here in the 50s. Enjoy it while we have it. Now, of course, it's the end of August, and so we definitely have more of this to come, but we might see that creeping up a little bit as we get closer to the weekend and add a little bit more moisture in and a chance for some scattered showers. You definitely don't need to send the kids out with the raincoats or umbrellas today. Looking gorgeous again, mostly sunny to partly cloudy, slightly warmer than yesterday, but with low humidity, temperatures in the low 80s still will feel great. Again, coming up, we're going to take a closer look at the weekend with a small chance for rain.
Sounds good, Elizabeth. Thank you. The newly installed director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is out after refusing to resign under pressure from the Trump administration. The Department of Health and Human Services announced that Susan Menares has been terminated as CDC director. However, her attorneys say she has not gotten notification from the White House that she's been fired. They say she has no plans to step down. Menares was appointed by President Trump and confirmed late last month. No reason has been given for her firing. Toxic forever chemicals are showing up in more faucets nationwide. The EPA recently released data showing 200 more drinking water systems are contaminated with chemicals known as PFAS. They include Durham, Fayetteville, Apex, and Orange County. They can build up in the environment and the human body, and they've been linked to health problems, including cancer. WRAL reporter Liz McLaughlin shows us why there is no easy solution to clean them up.
This treatment plant can process 20 million gallons of water each day for Chapel Hill and Carborough.
University Lake does not have very much impacted PFAS, but Cane Creek Reservoir does.
Before it's treated, some of that water carries toxic PFAS.
Our average PFAS concentrations are primarily made up of PFOS and PFOA, which are two of the more common PFAS, but they can be upwards of 60 to 80 parts per trillion each.
The EPA's new legal limit is just 4 parts per trillion. But Orange County Water Resources Director Allison Spinelli tells me it's meeting the standard.
And we've been able to feed a high enough dose of powdered activated carbon to knock that down to our goal.
Other utilities, including Raleigh, Cary, and Apex, are also using a powder activated carbon system to filter PFAS. Durham, meanwhile, is preparing to install one.
Powder activated carbon is effective at removing the PFAS, but once those chemicals are filtered out, utilities have to deal with the waste.
Those PFAS-laden solids are often burned or buried, raising concerns the chemicals could re-enter the environment.
We want to try and kind of stop it here.
The Orange County utility plans to build a granular activated carbon system in the coming years. But the upgrade is costly and could eventually raise water bills.
We feel like we might be having to treat for something that we didn't make, didn't understand, didn't anticipate, but now we have to do something with it.
PFAS contamination often comes from industrial discharges and consumer products, and there are currently no federal or state regulations to stop them at the source.
Ultimately, this is a problem that should be dealt with federally, and the companies that produced and released this contamination into the environment should be responsible for the cleanup and for paying for water filtration.
The EPA estimates more than 172 million Americans are exposed to PFAS in their drinking water. Liz McLaughlin, WRAL News.
The new federal limits on PFAS in drinking water don't take effect until 2029. The EPA recently said it plans to push that deadline to 2031 and roll back enforceable limits for several compounds, including Gen X. That's a chemical linked to Chemours. At-home water filters can remove PFAS. We've posted a guide for you on WRAL.com. Many Ford owners will need to make a trip to the dealer. The automaker is recalling more than 355,000 of its pickup trucks due to a technical glitch. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the instrument panel display could go blank. That would prevent the driver from seeing information, including speed and warning lights. Ford says no injuries or crashes relating to the issue have been reported. 9 different Ford models and model years are included in the recall. UNC football coach Bill Belichick has kept it close to the vest on who his starting quarterback will be this season. Until now, Belichick announced yesterday that Gio Lopez will start against TCU on Labor Day. Belichick says Lopez improved a lot during camp and expects him to keep getting better.
Yeah, Gio's made a ton of progress. We've evaluated things through, through training camp, and as now we get ready for TCU, he'll be our starting quarterback. So we'll give him the majority of the reps in practice, and make sure that we get him, as much preparation as possible. But everybody needs to be ready to go.
Lopez transferred to UNC this season after previously playing at South Alabama. And once again, they'll be playing Monday night on Labor Day. We should have a nice stretch of comfortable temperatures through our holiday weekend. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. This morning, though, nice and cool, and we like being in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, temperatures in the 50s and 60s again this morning. Dew point way down in the 50s, and that's what makes it feel so good out there. This is a live look at Fenton and Cary. I imagine that all these outdoor places to sit have been busy the last several days, and that will continue. Right now, our temperature is at 60, and at the airport, we're reporting cloudy skies. Right now, expect temperatures to be anywhere from the mid-50s to low 60s through the morning, and then we climb into the 70s around lunchtime. So just like the last several days, lunch outside should be part of your schedule if you can swing it. It's 60 in Durham and Raleigh, 63 in Fayetteville, and 60 in Clinton, but elsewhere, temperatures are in the mid-50s, so feeling comfortably cool, especially with that nice low dew point. Right now, it's 58 in Holly Springs, 59 in Garner, and in Knightdale, 58 in Rollsville. So it feels great out there this morning. It'll feel great around town this afternoon. Temperatures are starting to creep up slightly. 82 in Raleigh, 81 Durham, 85 in Fayetteville. But the big key is the fact that we're going to continue to see our humidity nice and low. That's going to make for a fantastic afternoon and evening. For football, we've got NC State and Duke both playing tonight. Tailgating forecast around mid to late afternoon, 81 degrees at kickoff at 7 and 7:30 for each of those games, 71 degrees, and at the end of the game, mid-60s. And expect to see sunshine. I mean, it's going to be a great evening for football. Sometimes, those first games are really hot. Not the case tonight. 87 is our normal high. We keep it below that, but notice we don't have any 70s in our forecast anymore in the next 5 days. Still not bad, though. Our normal low is 68. Still going to be cool tomorrow at 61, and then we're a little bit warmer over the weekend. The muggy meter goes up over the weekend as well. We get it back into the 60s because we're going to watch a low coming in. It's going to bring us a small chance for showers on Saturday and Sunday, and so we're going to be watching for that. It's a 30% chance. Coming up, we're going to talk a bit more about the pattern for the weekend and why it doesn't look like a washout. Still looking dry for Monday for Labor Day.
Thanks, Elizabeth. A chart-topping first. They're not just slaying demons. These K-pop stars are slaying records. Hear how a soundtrack just made Billboard history. Also canceled in Carolina. High ratings, but no renewal. Why Netflix is pulling the plug on a North Carolina-based hit. It's a K-pop world, and fans are happily living in it. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
The world will know you as pop stars.
Make that record-setting pop stars. The soundtrack for Netflix's K-pop Demon Hunters has 4 songs in the Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 simultaneously, the first time any soundtrack album has achieved that feat. The soundtrack itself is currently number 2 on the Billboard 200 album chart, and with a CD out now to augment streaming totals, taking the number 1 spot could be just a matter of time.
This is for my play. It's about people who buy into the idea of love and then just discover it's actually a black hole of betrayal and despair.
Newcomer Everett Blanc stars in Griffin in Summer as a 14-year-old playwriting prodigy whose world is turned upside down by an itinerant handyman and performance artist. The coming-of-age film, which won top honors at the Tribeca Festival, opens in theaters Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A Netflix series that was shot in North Carolina will not get another season. The creator of The Waterfront says the streaming service did not renew the show for a second season. It focused on a fictional family living on the North Carolina coast, and it was filmed in Wilmington and Southport. The show debuted near the top of Netflix's streaming charts. The showrunner did not say what led to the decision. Another show about the Karen Reed murder trial is reportedly in the works. Deadline reports Elizabeth Banks has signed on to play Reed in the upcoming limited series. It's being developed by Prime Video and Warner Brothers. This is separate from a scripted project that Reed herself announced along with her defense attorney. Reed was acquitted earlier this summer of murdering her police officer boyfriend. Breaking news in Raleigh. Here's a live look at an investigation near Capitol Boulevard from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. What we're finding out from police. School safety experts we spoke with say the scene of the school shooting in Minneapolis creates unique security challenges. What questions will remain after the deadly tragedy? Plus, UNC professor honored. Today marks 2 years since that deadly shooting on Chapel Hill's campus. How Professor Yen is being remembered today.